Hi. Hey, it's me. Hi. Hi, it's me, Pickled Human. Hi, I'm Pickled Human. I play a lot of games. If you're like me, you love wizards, deck builders, and breaking out of prison. And if you're a lot like me, then when Pluto came out earlier this week, roguelike deck builder about a wizard breaking out of prison to attend his niece's birthday party, you poured every waking moment of your free time into mastering this fun little game. Is this bit working? Is this good? Do you like this? In this video, I'm going to go over the fundamentals of completing a run of Pluto successfully. So if you've only just started playing and you're struggling to get a handle on some of the less obvious mechanics and strategies, or even if you're a seasoned player just looking to optimize your game, then this video is for you. Pluto has some excellent tutorials that get you up to speed on the controls of the game and some of the basic things to look for in combat. So I'm going to assume that you've done them and focus just on the higher level strategy that goes into a successful Pluto run. If you haven't done them and you really want to understand what's going on, go do them and then come on back. Otherwise, just vibe, enjoy the video, enjoy the art of the game. You're going to have a great time. One last note before we begin the run. I plan on doing more of these videos about Pluto, covering topics like what each of the different passive effects and spells do, how to defeat each of the different bosses, and of course guides for each of the other 7 playable wizards currently in the game. If any of these topics is something you'd like to see a guide for sooner than later, please tell me in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified when I post that video. For now, we're going to focus on the Apprentice, so let's get into it. So let's talk about Apprentice, shall we? You can see all of the Apprentice's starting spells up here. That's a lot of information to throw at you right away, so we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of each one just yet. But just know that you can look at your spells individually by hovering over your spell book, basically. The Apprentice's main passive power is called Spell Bell. You start with this each run. You gain 1 power for every 12 spells cast. For every point of power you gain, attacks will deal 1 point of extra damage for the rest of the fight. This never goes down. Power is one of the best passive effects that you can build up over the course of a game. Essentially what this tells us, though, is that we want to be casting as many spells as often as possible within any given fight in order to ramp up our power and really start doing damage with the Apprentice. So the Apprentice's gifts, these are passive effects that you will choose at the end of the first area within Pluto. You'll kind of decide which one is best for you based on the way your run is going, but I'll talk about them here now. So the right hand, when your right hand is empty, spells cast twice and gain a hex. Basically what that means is you cast spells on all 8 of your fingers, and so if you choose to cast no spells with your right hand, you'll get to cast everything on your left hand twice, and then gain a hex. A hex is typically a detrimental spell that you can't discard. You have to play it at some point if you want to get rid of it. Otherwise, it's taking up space in your hand. So it's kind of cost and benefit, but being able to cast a spell more than once with limited space, say if you've got cursed fingers and you're unable to cast with your right hand, it can be really powerful. The Apprentice's second gift is the Empty Tome. The Empty Tome allows you to gain 1 momentum and 2 channel if you start your turn holding no spells. Okay, what the heck does this mean? So what is Empower, first of all? Empower is similar to Power. So Power, each point of power you get, it lets you deal 1 extra point of damage for the rest of the fight. Empower is a weaker version of that. It lets you do 1 point of extra damage until the end of your turn. So basically you can build up Empower within a turn, cast damaging spells that are boosted by Empower, and then it goes away at the end. Momentum, however, is another passive effect, which makes it so that you don't lose your Empower at the end of your turn. So basically if you've got 3 momentum, that means that for 3 turns, starting from then, you will get to build up and keep Empower for that whole period of time. So it's a really strong thing. A number of the Apprentice's spells use Empower specifically, so if you're able to build momentum as well, you can really juice your damage dealing spells quite a lot. The other portion of Empty Tome is Channel. Now Channel is very simple. It just means for every point of channel you have, you draw an extra spell next turn. Your hand size has a maximum of 8 slots, so if you're nearing the top of that, or if you've already got like a lot of draw spells in your spellbook, you may not really care about Channel, but if you find yourself struggling to like draw enough cards to play, then this can be a really powerful thing to have. In most builds, you'll want to have some form of Channel or Insight, which is another form of Channel, which allows you to draw more cards. Now, this is all contingent on you starting your turn with no spells, and one thing I have to mention with this that can be problematic for the Apprentice is spells called chants. Now, if you've done the tutorial, you know what chants are. So chants are like exchange here or zap over here. These are spells that you cast, and at the end of your turn, they stay in your hand. They don't go away on their own. What this means is that in order to take advantage of Empty Tome, you either have to manually dismiss your chants rather than playing them, or you have to take advantage of some other ability like Sever, which forces cards to be discarded from your hand at the end of the turn. Some of the spells that the Apprentice can pick up in the course of the run allow him to acquire Sever, letting him get rid of these chants even after casting them, which can work really well with Empty Tome. So if you pick up some of those spells that allow you to sever cards from your hand, the Empty Tome can be a really good choice for you. The Apprentice's last gift that he can choose is the Lute. Gain 2 wild when both pinkies are used. Wild, the way that it works is, they're saying it casts an additional 2 times, but really what it means is that it casts an additional X number of times based on how much wild you have. So if after the first turn, let's say you've cast with both your pinkies, you've got 2 wild, at the end of the turn it goes down to 1, but then you do it again. Then it goes up to 3 wild, and then it goes down by 1, so you're at 2, and then you do it again, so then you're at 4 wild, and so on and so forth. So you can build up wild and end up casting 2, then 3, then 4 times per turn, and so on and so forth, if you can keep doing that. Which sounds really powerful if you've got spells that do multicast, which the Apprentice has a number of them. The only problem with Lute is the handful of enemies that can fully cut off disable fingers for a period of time. A number of bosses have the ability to disable a finger for 1 to 4 turns, and if they choose, and typically they start all the way on the right side with your right pinky. If that's the case, that renders Lute null and void, and you just can't use it until you get access to that finger again. Curses are another problem for casting on your pinkies, obviously, but those that you can still take advantage of Lute. You just have to also exercise the curse at the same time. So it's less of a problem dealing with that. The main issue is when you run into the occasional loss of a digit for a period of time. So it's not that it's still a good choice, but it can be. There's cases where you just can't use it at all for a period of time, which sucks. So you don't want to rely entirely on Lute for maximizing your wild. If you can, you want to pick up a spell or 2 that allows you to boost your wild separately from Lute, and together you can really amp up your damage. Okay, so right from the start of the run, we want to take a look at the shop over here. We've got 12 coins to buy things with. Available, we have the heal badge, which is okay. It helps you recover HP in the event that you lose any. I prefer not to lose any at all, but it's a good backup item. We also have the Air Wild Ring, which I can't purchase just yet. So what I'm going to do, normally, depending on what item's here, I'll buy it and then just immediately refresh. I think I'll do that here, just so we have something. The health badge, not the best. If you're playing correctly, it'll be fine, but it's a good backup. If you lose a little bit of HP, you don't need to necessarily heal it at each campfire. You can do something else. The reason we want to grab something and then refresh is so that we can get a new shop within 2 map events very quickly. The invitation is one such event, so we start with this. We accept the invite and then we move on, right? The first choice we're always given is to pick up a ring. So let's take a look at what we've got. Okay. Now we've got Fire and Power Ring. That's a really strong one. We've got Lightning Damage Ring and the Air Wild Ring. Okay. So I'm going to argue that there's 2 correct choices here. Well, 1 correct choice for me, but there's 2 really good ones, and then 1 that's okay. The Air Wild Ring, we'll start with that one because that's just the okay one. The reason that the Air Wild Ring is just okay, so it gives you Wild, which gives you it lets spells that multicast cast an additional time in a turn, but we lose 1 each turn, right? So in order for this to be effective, we either need to put it early on, cast a wind spell on it, and then have multicast spells after to take advantage of that. Or we need to have spells that can overlap each other so we can trigger it multiple times, That way our wild persists to the next turn and so on and so forth. And we can potentially build up a lot of wilds to really do a lot of casting, right? That's the best case scenario. The thing is, if we look at our spell list here, we've got 2 spells in the base that use the wind rune. That's Exchange, which is a chance. We can do that every round. That's not a bad idea. But then we have Twister, which is a ritual. And if you look at these 2, you'll notice that these 2 cannot overlap. This one's surrounded by rocks. This doesn't use rocks at all. We can't use them both at the same time. So with our base deck, we can only trigger the air wild 1 time around, meaning it has to be early and we have to have multicast spells after it for it to be any use at all. It can be useful, but odds are there's going to be a better choice. Now, these 2, we've got the Fire and Power ring. So Empower, we talked about earlier in the video. Every time you gain Empower, all of your attacks for the rest of that turn deal increased damage. And if you have Momentum, you can keep your Empower and really build up a lot of strength in your attacks over the course of a few turns. That can be pretty good. We've got 2 fire spells in the base deck. We've got Haste, which is a ritual, and then Flame Blast, which is a cantrip. Now, the ritual, it's 1 and done per battle, but Haste is a really good one. It gives us momentum, and it pairs really well with Empower because it allows you to gain momentum and also immediately trigger some Empower with the ring, effectively juicing your attacks for at least 2 turns. And Flame Blast is a cantrip, meaning it's not around all the time, but you can reliably trigger Empower towards the start of any given turn with that. It's not a bad choice. It's pretty good. I think most successful runs, I've got some kind of Empower happening here. The one that I'm going to argue for now is the Lightning Damage Ring. Now, the reason we want the Lightning Damage Ring here is because we've got 3 different lightning spells, first of all. 2 of which are cantrips, meaning that we will use them once a turn and then they'll go back into our deck and we'll see them again. And then 1 that's a chant. And the other really good thing about them is all of them overlap with each other. So Boost with Zap in either order can pair with each other. We can Zap into Arc, and we can also, Arc into Boost. Arc into Boost is probably the least favorable one because usually you want to boost before you do an attack spell. But you can arrange them if you need to. You can arrange them that way on top of a lightning ring to trigger it twice. Now, the other thing I want to talk about here that makes these good, Flame Blast is a multicast spell. Zap is also a multicast spell. So for Flame Blast, if you put that on the Fire Empower ring, you're going to empower twice. Now, the way that works basically is that I don't know what the trigger order is between rings and spells. I think you cast the spell and then the ring would trigger. So I think the initial Empower wouldn't affect the damage of the first cast, but then the multicast would be empowered and then it would trigger a second Empower. Multicast spells trigger these rings more than once, and the Apprentice is all about multicast. Those are the kinds of spells we really want to build up in our deck here. And those are the ones we want to look at. Since Zap is a chant, once it's in our hand, in general, it's just going to stay in our hand and we'll be able to use it always, which makes the Lightning Ring really reliable damage. It's really, really good early on. And with a build around it, it can be extremely powerful, especially when you can just reliably do damage each turn. So I'm going to take the Lightning Ring personally, but I'll be looking out for a Fire Empower ring or another Empower ring that can help me out here. We're going to put it on this finger for now, just because, we want to put our rings in general closer towards the left. Most enemies that cast curses on our fingers will do so starting from the very right. So this pinky is the first to go, then the right ring finger, and so on. So the further left our rings are, the less likely they are to be affected by things. The rings that we really want to make sure we're triggering all the time, we want to be on the left side. If you end up with a lot of rings, you can put them wherever, and the ones you like the least in general. Or if you get a build where you're like casting roughly the same mix of spells and runes each turn, maybe you've got like an arrangement that works for you. But in general, the 2 things you want to consider are how far left can I go, and also what spells, where does it need to be to cast all our spells. Now, lightning could go all the way to the left here. It's the safest place in most fights, with the exception of the final boss, which sometimes starts cursing fingers starting from the left side, and which can be very bad. But the thing about that, well, actually, no, it's not really that bad. Putting it all the way on edge like that, though, limits the possibility for overlapping multiple spells to trigger the ring. Yeah, boost and zap were, well, actually, yeah, none of the ones in our base deck can overlap here. So in general, you want to put it at least here, or because of arc, we want to move it at least to the middle finger of this particular one. I put it on the index finger because sometimes I want to put a different spell, like either haste or maybe an exchange or something early on to get it out of the way. Maybe a ward to help defend against some damage. Give ourselves some space to work, but not put it too far to the right. That's kind of my reasoning for why we're putting it there. We might move it around later as we pick up different things, but okay. So next up, we've got a fight coming. I still can't buy anything new from the shop, which is really unfortunate. They gave me the exact same items again. So I'm actually going to forage again because I don't like either of those items. I did buy the health, the heal badge because it was, you know, it was cheap, it was there. But I really want to find absolutely anything else. Now we could either get some more money over here. We do get a little bit of money after each battle, but this would give me a little bit more, definitely allowing me to buy something here. Or we can get a new spell. I want to build up my deck, so I'm going to go for the spell. In general, these spells are going to be better than anything that you have in your base deck. Some are obviously better than others, but usually it's going to be a good return on investment if you go for a spell. The only time you might want to go for gold instead is if you knew that you had something that you really wanted to buy and you needed to save up for it, or if your deck was getting kind of fat, like you're not finding the things you want to quite as quickly as you want to do. And so sometimes you might want to like forego one of these to just grab some cash and get some badges or some extra rings or something. Let's go into the first fight. All right, I'm gonna get out of the way because all of the tooltip information shows up on the right side. So you'll see me in a minute, but bye. Okay. So this is our first fight. It's pretty straightforward. The first thing you want to do in any fight is just look at what your opponents are doing. This guy's intending to block. We can see the tooltip on the right side there. It says he's going to block for 7 up top. This guy's going to power up. So nobody's attacking me right now. I don't have to worry about defense at all, right? I notice in my hand I've got haste. Haste is one of the spells that's really strong, but I want to cast it as early as possible because it'll give me momentum, and then I can use momentum to preserve empower, right? The thing is, I don't have anything that actually does empower in my hand at the moment. So I'm not going to use this just yet. It's a ritual spell, and so I only get one chance at using it in a battle, and I want to save it for when I know it can be most effective. So we've got 2 damaging spells here. We've got Flame Blast and Arc. Arc we want to make sure touches this lightning ring. It's not Arc is probably honestly the worst lightning spell we have in the deck because it's big and it only hits 1 time. But it's an okay damage dealer. We'll use it early on. I'll also throw Flame Blast down somewhere. The other thing I'm looking at here is Conjure Steel. Now, Conjure Steel is going to give me 7 block at the start of each turn, and we lose a little bit each turn after that. So it can be like a reliable defense early on, but it's also going to make me discard 2 cards that are in my hand. And if I'm not playing haste, haste is going to be going bye-bye. So I want to think about whether to use that or not. I think I do want to use it, but it is going to kind of limit my options in the next hand because we're going to lose haste and then we're only going to draw 2 more cards. So we'll do pretty decent damage to this first guy, but then we're going to be hanging out for something to happen next turn. And unfortunately, we're going to have discarded haste, which isn't great for us, but at least we'll have a little extra defense to help us survive. Okay. We found a boost, which I really wanted to use with haste. I'm probably not going to do anything with this for now. And we've got Exchange, which is one of our chant spells. Okay, so Exchange, it's not going to trigger this ring. It's going to give us 1 channel and 1 vulnerable, meaning that if I play this card, you'll notice that the enemy's damage, it's 14 now. If I play it, it goes up to 21. He does 50% more damage because I am now vulnerable, right? But only for one round, only for 1 turn. Now you'll notice also that I still have 1 block. This is showing me This is showing me all the defense I have with the runes that I'm playing now, and this shows what happens after this guy attacks me. Now, fortunately for me, what that means is, yeah, the 7 that's here now is coming from the armor that was there. It was 7, it applied to the 7 defense, and it ticked down by 1. And then the rest of the defense that we've got is coming from these empty fingers, which are just enough to completely stop the damage, even though we're vulnerable for 1 turn. Because we can tank it, there's no reason not to play this. This will let us draw an extra card in the next round. So we'll get boost and then 3 more cards from our deck. So we're going to do that. Boost I don't want to use because Empower only lasts until the end of the turn, and so if I play it now, it doesn't do anything. Although, well, we could do a little damage here, but the thing is, the person we're attacking has some shield, and shield goes away at the end of the round anyway, so since we can't get through the shield with the proc on our ring, we don't want to cast this at all. Sometimes that is a thing to consider. Sometimes you might want to play something suboptimally to trigger a ring. Not in this case, it's not doing enough for us. So we just play exchange, move on to the next round. Okay. Okay. Nobody's attacking this turn. This enemy is planning to move to the front. So what do we want to do? We've got boost. We've got zap. I think, honestly, we might just plain and simple... You know what'd be really funny? You know, it'd be really, really funny if we just killed this guy before he could even, yeah. So we can kill this guy right now. We can boost into zap, and zap. The good thing about zap is it's triggering our ring 3 times. Even better though, if we put boost so that it overlaps with the ring, and then put zap overlapping with the arcane sigil, we do a little damage to him as well. So we want to, anytime we can, anytime we have 2 spells that could both trigger a ring, if we can, we want to overlap them such that they both get to do a little extra. So we arrange them like this and do that. Ward's defense, we don't need a defense right now. We can do an exchange, nobody's attacking, we'll get an extra draw next turn, so we'll throw exchange at the end. Twister doesn't matter, because we're killing 1 guy and there's only going to be 1 left, so that's our turn. Okay, so this guy's going to try to do some damage. I think haste is here now. That's pretty cool. We don't have boost anymore, which is unfortunate. How much damage does zap do? Zap almost knocks him out, but we also have flame blast. If we flame blast, he's dead. Okay, cool. Anytime you're kind of near the end of a fight, honestly, just throw your damage spells down. Again, you want to try to proc your rings when you can, but first things first, just see if you can defeat him. Don't worry about the attack. Don't cast right away, because it's possible you'll lose HP, but since we can just take him out before he can attack us, that's the move. Clearly, right? Okay, dope. So that was a pretty easy first fight. Sorry, when you hover over this thing, sorry, flashing lights, it shows you your whole spread of spells, what rings you have equipped. If you hover over here, you can see what you're starting combat with. I've got the 2 heal badge, which is not useful because I ended the fight with full health. And you can also reread Spellbell if you forget what it does. But honestly, Spellbell is, you don't have to think about it. Set it and forget it. The more time passes, the stronger you're going to be, basically. But we want to get that multicast up whenever we can. Okay, so we're getting to choose a spell. So we want to consider 3 things when we're looking at the spell. I mean, A, obviously the effect of the spell. What does it actually do? B, how often can we cast the spell? Is it a ritual? Is it a cantrip? Is it a chant? Is it an echo? In this case, we've got 2 rituals, which are once per battle, and 1 cantrip, meaning we can cast it once around, and then it'll come back through our deck after we discard it. The third thing we want to consider is the runes that are used to cast it, and how much, if any, overlap there is with our existing deck, right? So let's look at these a little bit. Okay, so we've got Melt, 3 runes to cast, ritual spell, so we get to use it once per combat in general. And it'll do 1 damage 6 times. So that's a really strong multicast type spell, but it only procs 1 time. Or we can only use it 1 time. It has lightning as part of it, so we can use it on the lightning ring. Better still, arcane lightning, if you notice, Arcane Lightning happens to be exactly the same as the Zap formula. So we can cast Zap as part of Melt. We can cast them at the same time, which is really cool. So if we put the Arcane or the Lightning on our Lightning Ring, all of that will trigger the Lightning Ring and do a ton of damage. 6 times 5, an extra 30 for this one, 3 times 5 for the Zap, upwards of 45 extra damage on top of what these would do normally, which is awesome. What's more, the more times you cast, the faster you activate your spell bell, the sooner you get more power, so on and so forth. It's a really strong contender right here, even though it's a ritual spell. Gem Ward, it gives us a bunch of block, and then we have to discard 2 cards. Discard can be good if we're running an empty tome, which we haven't seen in this run yet, but it can be good. I'm not worried about defense at the moment, though. It is a cantrip, it is pretty easy to cast, and it does overlap with Ward, so it could be a really effective defense, but I want to focus on building up my damage at the moment. Lastly, we've got Steel Ward. Steel Ward's an interesting one, because we gain 2 vulnerable, which is obviously bad, but then we also enchant we enchant our fingers with 2 armor. Now, which fingers get enchanted? Both of the fingers that you place the spell on. So wherever you put that fire and bone combination, it's going to enchant both of those fingers with armor. Now, what armor does is it's going to give you, it's going to accumulate. Like let's say you enchant it. Next turn, if you leave both of those fingers you've enchanted empty, you'll have 4 armor accumulate, and that's going to give you an additional 4 armor next round, and that'll tick down by 3. But the longer that you let those fingers remain empty, the more defense you'll be able to build up over time. And so it's a really good way to like passively get stronger if you're often leaving a hand empty. Let's say you've got a right hand build, you could do Steel Ward early on, safely hopefully. Like if you've got if nobody's attacking, you don't have to worry about vulnerable too much. You can go ahead, put that on some of your later fingers, and then when you're leaving them empty to activate right hand, you're still getting the benefit of that extra armor, which is really awesome. And that just gets better and better as time goes on. Yeah, armor in general is more effective than just straight defense. It doesn't take effect immediately because the armor actually triggers at the start of a new turn. But it adds up over time. It's one of those kinds of effects. Me personally, I'm looking at these 2. These are both really strong contenders. This just seems good. It's called Melt. I want to melt my enemies. We are going to do it. Let's do it. Great. Okay, cool. We have finished foraging for a new item, and we got something I like. We got the Fire and Power ring, so we're going to take that right away. I'm going to put it right here. Just in the event that I can potentially overlap it with something. There might be some conflict of interest there. If we look at the one we just picked up, if we look at Melt, we've got Arcane, Lightning, Fire. I do kind of want them close together in case I can manage to bridge this gap while also overlapping with other stuff. So like, I think it's unlikely that something's going to end with Fire. None of my other Lightning stuff is going to work with this. However, Flame Blast ends with Arcane, so it can go there, and then Arcane can go into whatever else. Yeah. Now, one thing to consider here is I might actually want to do like a less intuitive arrangement of these because of what we just talked about, right? So if we put Melt bridging this gap, right, we have Arcane here. Boost can go before that, which is actually a pretty good combination. We can boost into Melt, into whatever else. And then Melt, since Fire would be here, we could play something that starts with Fire, like Flame Blast, for example. And that combination is a really strong, like, you boost at the start into some damage dealing, etc., etc. It's not optimal for all situations. I might want to, like, move these around a bit, but it's a pretty strong combination. Arc doesn't benefit nearly as much this ring as Zap or Melt does, so I'm not really thinking about Arc too much here. And Zap, obviously, if I throw a Zap down, I can't Well, no, Zap and Melt overlap with each other. What am I saying? Yeah, I can put Melt here. Zap still procs. And if I'm lucky, I have a boost as well, and then I'll go into... Yeah, no, that's going to be amazing. What am I saying? This is great. What am I talking about? Come on. The downside, of course, is that since Empower is a little bit later, the Empower isn't going to affect any of the attacks that finish before reaching this ring. But I think that might be a price I'm willing to pay. Let's think about that a little bit. No, we should just stick with the sensible thing. We should just do the normal thing. That's what we should do. Oh, the thing is, though, if I do play Melt with Zap, where it overlaps both, we do get... Well, Melt actually procs... Hold on. Melt is going to proc that Empower 6 times. I think Zap will be okay not procking that Lightning Ring 3 times. Because it'll suddenly have an extra 12 damage per... Yeah, it's kind of worth. Okay, we're gonna keep it in this order. Okay, cool. I talked it out. Armor Badge is pretty good. Armor Badge will give me some defense that I didn't get from that other spell I couldn't take. So I think we'll save up for that one. We got a Scry token. Interesting. Okay. So what Scry token does is it helps us ensure that we're able to draw a certain spell at the start of each fight. And the one that I think I'm most interested in, I don't know. We'll actually come back to that. There's a few that come to mind. Okay, obviously I want to get Haste going early. Haste and Boost are good. One of my multicasts can be good as well. Getting a chant in place early on ensures that I have a damage dealing spell that I can play all the time. So that might be good to ensure. I'm not going to do it just yet. 15 to 20 gold? Yeah, sure. We'll do it. I could have gone for another spell. That would have been a good thing, but I want to pick up this Armor Badge and then Forage. So we're going to do that. All right, we've got Lost Goblin. Now, the Goblin's got Revenge right now, which means that every time I damage him, he's going to do more damage to me. So if I just open with Arc, for example, you'll notice that instead of doing a potential 15 damage to me, he's doing 27, and then he gets through my armor and it sucks, right? If we Melt, we die, because then suddenly he's doing 81, and I can't keep up with that right now. So honestly, we don't want to attack him this turn. We really just want to kind of defend and move on with our lives. Okay. Now, okay, so these are both my attack spells. We're not going to do those for now. I do want to use Exchange here, and I'll tell you why. Now, just using Exchange on its own makes us vulnerable. He's going to do 22 points of damage. But we can also use Cover, which is a cantrip. The reason Exchange is good is it's going to give us an extra draw next round, and so we'll have a set of... Well, since Exchange is a chant, it's going to stay in our hand, so we'll have 6 cards total next round. Cover will go away, but everything else will stay. And hopefully we'll be able to attack next round. So that's kind of what we're aiming to do. We block enough so that we don't take any damage, and we move on. Okay. So he's lost Revenge, meaning he won't do more damage this turn over last. Haste is here, Boost is here. Oh, baby. Melt is also here, which is awesome. Do I want to Haste, Boost... Melt, or I could Haste Boost. I mean, Haste and Boost are the two that I want to use immediately because they don't pair well together. Haste gives us momentum. Oh no, you know what I should do? Hold on. Duh. If we put Melt here, we're not casting Zap, so it doesn't have that benefit. But Boost does overlap with Melt. So that lets us do some damage immediately. Fun fact, as long as you put momentum somewhere, you don't have to put it at the start. You can just put it at the end and keep your Empower until next round, basically. That said, if I do Haste here, we are going to take some damage. And we do, oh, we did pick up a heal badge. We should use it probably, right? We picked up a heal badge. Who would we be if we didn't use it? I try not to lose any health at all if I can. But if we're gonna melt and boost here, I want to be able to keep. I want to be able to get haste going as well. So we're gonna do that, even though it hurts us a bit right now. It's worth. Is it worth doing? Well. Yeah, that's gonna hurt us as well. So we don't want to do that. We use both of these. We'll draw 2 new cards. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna do this. Boost activates that. Melt activates it 6 times, which is nuts. Oh wait, I can just arc to finish him. Hold on, what am I doing? Do more damage, just finish the fight now. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Trying to go to next round with haste and keep my empower would have been good, but it would have hurt us. But fortunately, we had enough damage to be able to just finish it. Anyway, okay. We got an armor badge, that's cool. Okay. How many, is that 2 armor badges we have now? We have 6 armor at the start of every fight. We could get 9. We could also pick up an air wild ring, but I don't think we like that at the moment. Yeah, we picked up melt. Melt doesn't have air. It's still the same 2. And I would need to put it before everything else for it to be useful. It's not great. Yeah, I'll pick up the armor badge and then forage once more right before we go into the next boss. Cool. I could have also potentially bought a spell. I should remember to do that next time, but I didn't really think about it. Okay, round 1. This guy always opens with 24 points of damage, which is exactly what you have on your fingers right here. Even if you don't have this extra armor that I have, you can tank this hit if you just do nothing on round 1. That said, we've got haste, we've got some empower, we've got zap here that can do some stuff, and we've got ward that can help us defend as well. Alternatively, I can also just conjure steel. That doesn't take effect right away though, so ward is going to be the better thing to help ensure we don't take too much damage. Although, oh, because haste is making us vulnerable, that's not a good idea. All right, we will use zap. Because it's a chant, it'll stay in our hand, so we can just use it every turn, no problem. And then we'll just tank the rest of the hit. We've got 3 armor left over, or 3 defense shield. We've got 3 block left over. I guess it's block is what it's called, right? Yeah. We've got 3 block left over after he attacks us, so we can just do a little bit of damage, save our cards for next turn. Okay. All right, so now he's not attacking, now he's going to be cursing. So now is actually a good time to go ahead and use haste. So we can use haste, overlap that with flame blast, overlap flame blast with zap. And in just a moment, he started at 107 and he's down to 61. What's more, we'll have accumulated a total of 6 empower that will persist into next round, and we can get even more hopefully then, and hopefully finish him off. Knowing how this tends to go, I think we'll be able to finish him off. I'm not going to use Conjure Steel because there's a chance that it'll end up discarding my chant, and I don't want to do that, so we're just going to move right along. Cool. Okay. We got Twister and we got Exchange. Not ideal. Yeah, really not ideal, actually. I was really hoping for Boost or one of the other... what a bummer, man. Okay. Well, we're not getting the best use out of Momentum because we've only got the 1 damaging spell here. But that's okay. Zap still procs the ring 3 times. He's got a bunch of defense right now, too. And doing it now, we don't lose the spell, and it still gets through defense to damage him, so we might as well do that. He's about to curse a finger with damage. Okay, if I clear these curses now, it'll make the damage that he's about to put on another finger much worse. However, I don't care. I'm fine with that. We have a lot of cards that I wouldn't really care that much about losing, So we're gonna sever here to get the extra armor. And clearing these curses means that the damage is going to go on the pinky, and I'll be able to use my other 7 fingers, no problem. So that to me feels like a fair trade. What's more, since nobody's attacking me right now, we'll do exchange as well, just to get an extra draw in the next hand, and hopefully get some damaging cards so we can finish this fight. Cool. Dope. Okay, it got rid of exactly the cards I didn't care about, which is amazing. Okay. Yeah, we should be able to finish him now. Melt alone with the zap along with it is enough to do it. We can throw boost in front of that next time if we want to. We can throw a little extra arc if we needed a bit more damage. Arc is, again, the weakest one here because it's not doing nearly as much as the others. But we have 12 in power thanks to melts now. Yeah. Great. Cool. Okay. One more map event before we see what happens. We're at full HP, so we can go ahead and just, at these campfires, we can heal to full or get a badge. We're going to get the badge because we don't need to heal. Now, Insight is a really strong one. What Insight does, we have 1 Insight now. You've seen Channel. Channel lets us draw an extra card next round. Insight gives us an extra draw every round. So instead of drawing the base 2 cards on subsequent rounds, we get 3 new cards each round. So it's a good way to ensure that we have plenty of stuff to work with in our hand. Momentum badge is quite good. I only need 5 more gold for it. That's going to help. It's going to give me momentum at the start of every fight, meaning that if I have a boost, I can just use it right away instead of waiting around to use it for something else. We also have another lightning damage ring, but it's not as good. Bone power ring, gain 2 power. Power is quite good because it's like empower that doesn't go away, period. Right? However, it is very expensive, so it's going to be a minute before we can get that. Yeah, I'm going to save up for this, and then maybe we'll save up for that. I'll think about it. Do we have any bone spells? We've got haste, we've got conjure steel, and that's it. Those are both rituals. Unless I get a spell that has bones that I can cast more often, I don't think we'll get the bone power ring here. But it's something to consider if we do see a spell that we can use often. Okay. Now, I did do a run in preparation for this video right before this, where I took the right hand because I hadn't done it in a while, and we got pretty far, but I got overconfident, and we got to the we got to the boss where it's like the big goblin who's like chained and his buddies are stabbing him or whatever. We got to that one. First round setup, we get empower and momentum. Beautiful. We double cast it, in fact. So we've got a total of 6 momentum with a bunch of empower. Amazing, right? We get a hex. It's one of the big nasty ones. But it wasn't that bad. We didn't have to cast or anything. Second round, we get my damaging spells. Wonderful. We do 600 damage in 1 shot to the main guy. He will die next round, just as long as I get any 1 more damaging spell. I've got zap, I just need something else. Next draw, it's all my defense cards. And the big man is about to do 300 damage to me, and I have no way to stop it. So guys, don't be like me. If you think you've got enough damage to do it, maybe just wait around. You've got 6 momentum. You can wait a little bit. Don't attack into the revenge unless you know you're going to defeat him quickly before he can hurt you. So anyway, we did that last time. We're not going to do that this time. Wild is all right, but when we lose one of our pinkies, it does nothing. We're going to do Empty Tome, and I'm going to show you how to do Empty Tome well. It's going to give us momentum and channel, so it's going to let us build up a lot of empower and just keep drawing a lot of cards, which is really nice. We're going to be making use of our cards that do sever a bit more often to help that along. And yeah, cool. Let's get into this first fight, shall we? Okay. So, Empty Tome, we talked about it before. When I start a turn with no spells in my hand, we gain 1 momentum, right? Since the beginning of the fight, we don't start the turn with any spells in hand. Or we do start the turn with spells in hand, technically. It's 4 plus the 1 that we got from the insight that we picked up earlier. And so we'll have to get rid of all of these if we're going to take advantage of Empty Tome next turn. But that's okay. So right now, this guy's defending for some reason. This guy's attacking, so we'll want a little bit of defense. We've got 9 armor going for us, which is pretty awesome. Plus whatever we can manage here. So I think, 9 plus 2 more? So if I leave 2 of my fingers empty, that's enough to tank this guy, no problem. Okay. What can we use right now? We've got Melt and Zap. Melt is a ritual. I really want to save it for once I've managed to do some other stuff. Okay. Guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open with Twister. It's gonna move this guy to the front, the one on the left, which is really fun. I don't care about this guy blocking. This guy can't attack me if he's not in melee. So putting this guy here means that we get to focus on this guy with only 200 HP, no problem. Although the fun thing about these guys is they're also parasites, meaning that when one loses health, they all lose equal health. So I don't really need to move these guys around so much. The only reason I would do so is to make it so that one of them can't attack me, right? And that's kind of what we're doing here. We're moving this guy around so he can't hit me. But also because Sever's actually kind of good for me right now. We're also going to go ahead and Conjure Steel, which gets me 2 more Sever. And we're not going to play these 2. And then the Sever is going to hit these 2, and also my Chant, which would go back into my hand normally, but will be discarded. The reason that we don't care about that is because, A, this is a one-time thing. We get a bunch of armor, we'll be pretty set for defense going forward, and also it's going to activate Empty Tome at the start of my next turn, which will get me more draws, and it'll also give me some momentum with which to do this. So we're gonna be able to cycle through our cards a bit here. Yeah. Also, we're not going to take any damage. Why not, you know? Use Sever while you got it. Now, those are my only 2 Sever cards at the moment, so I can't do that all the time. And there's no guarantee we'll get any boost here. We did get oh, beautiful. We got haste and boost. Guys, we did it. Guys, we're so good at our jobs. Okay. Haste boost. This guy is doing some damage. That doesn't do very much if I do that straight away. Is there a better way I can do this? Instead of boosting, I could put Flame Blast here and then boost there. Boost still does the same activation of the lightning. If I do just haste and boost, there's an arcane on this spot and I wouldn't be able to arc into the lightning anyway, so we still get the same number of procs of lightning. This gives me an extra proc on boost, which is really nice, since we're trying to build up some momentum. And yeah, maybe I don't want to... I don't think I want to exchange right now. We will arc just to do a bit more damage. Maybe. Although, okay, if I leave those empty, we are able to tank the hit we're taking. So I think I'd rather do that than do a little extra damage to all of them. We can save this for later, no problem. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I was thinking about doing exchange to get an extra draw, but we're going to get 3 new cards next round anyway. And that should hopefully get me either Melt or Zap, or ideally both, so we can really take advantage of the boost. So we're going to do this. Cool. Okay, so we've got 2 momentum at the moment. We've got, well, now 1. 8 empower. That empower is going to persist into next round as well. These 2 are going to try to move. This guy's going to attack me for 6, which is not that big a deal. And we got both Melt and Zap. So first things first, Melt and Zap right there. Arc right there. This guy's almost dead. These guys are really hurting. Okay, if we get rid of Arc... And we instead... I picked up Ward, which is one of my defensive spells. I kind of want to clear both of these. If we do that... it is going to be empowering two of the bad guys. I think it's probably going to empower this guy, but if he's moving away, he can't attack me anyway. So I don't mind him getting a power-up. Now the bad thing would be is if he moves here and then he gets the power, but I don't think that's how it works. So I think we'll be okay. Exchange I can't really fit in anywhere. It might cause me to take... Well, you know, actually... If we exchange, can we tank? No, we can totally tank that hit. Guys, we don't need that much defense right now. We're gonna exchange so we get to draw more cards. Still break the curse. We'll have defense for later. Yeah, this is good. We like this. Okay. Cool. We get some more empower from all those procs on Zap and Melt. That gets carried over to this round, and hopefully we've still got Zap. We got Flame Blast now as well. Boost is here. So, Flame Blast into Zap into... I don't think we need to boost now. Yeah, Flame Blast into Zap alone is enough to kill everything. Because we're attacking... Goodness gracious. Yeah, he's at 235. If we're doing enough to bring this guy down, that's... And he's got the most health. They're parasited, so they're all taking equal damage. Great. I'll throw an arc on that for good measure, but... Why not? Anyways, yeah, so that's why momentum and empower are so strong. I'm really liking my ring arrangement at the moment. Yeah, let's start with some momentum, shall we? That's pretty sick. 7... Do I want another ring? I could. The question with this is just, do I want to wait for 3 more gold to buy this ring? I don't think I do. I don't think I care enough. I'd rather just get new stuff. All right. So we're going to forage and then move on. Spellsmith, double spell effect and spell size. Okay. It does what it says on the tin. So if we do this to Melt, for example, suddenly we're doing 2 damage per attack. And also the spell card itself is double wide, meaning that it takes up 2 slots in our hand effectively. Also, if we have 7 cards in our hand and Melt is on the top of the deck trying to get drawn, it can't get drawn, which really sucks. I think in that case something else will end up there, but it means that we're not getting to see our boy. Now this is okay. We're not going to take this just yet because I want to show you guys some other stuff. So the thing is, a 1 to 2 thing, the thing that's strong about Melt isn't the damage. It's the fact that it's cast 6 times. That's what makes it so strong. So this is actually kind of a bad upgrade for doubling a spell effect. What would be really good for doubling a spell effect would be either something that's already kind of big, like Cover or Ward. If, like, let's say if I needed a bigger defense card, Cover would be a really strong one because it's giving me 20 instead of 10, and it only costs the 2 rocks to cast, so it's pretty versatile in where you can place it. Ward could also be good if I'm expecting something big. Arc would be a good one. Arc gets a lot better in this case since we're only casting it once, but it does double damage. So that's actually kind of a significant increase for Arc. But double wide for something that I don't care about that much. I regularly, using these other cards, I do more damage with Zap than Arc, even when it's double wide. Even Zap I wouldn't want to make double wide. I mean, I could do it, but again, similar to Melt, the thing about Zap that makes it strong isn't the damage, it's the multicast. So instead, what we're going to look at is some of our longer-term effects, right? Boost is a good one to consider. Boost is a strong one. It's an immediate +4 damage to all attacks this round, and if you've got some momentum, subsequent rounds. But the one that I'm really interested in is this guy right here, Haste. Now, bad thing about double spell effects and spell size here, we get an extra point of vulnerable, which means 2 turns vulnerable. Even if we play it on a safe turn, there's no guarantee that the one after that will be safe, so we gotta be ready to defend when we play this guy. However, going from 2 turns of momentum to 4 turns of momentum, in addition to what we've got with our empty tome, in addition to our momentum badge, ensures that we can build up a lot of empower. Like we'll want to ideally use our rituals early, get them out of the deck so that we can cycle through, boost as much as we can, cast our fire and lightning spells, and really juice that number and melt everything in our way. This is a really good way to do that. If I run into another one of these, double spell effect and spell size, I would probably do this. I would have honestly preferred for a regular enhanced spell, which gives me the choice of either boosting the momentum by 1 or reducing the vulnerable to 0, which is both of those are really good choices, by the way. An extra turn of empower is huge, regardless. But since we've been given this choice first, I think doubling this is going to be the best thing for us to do. So we're going to take this. All right. So now we're going to make a choice. We've got a battle either way. I don't really know. I'm sure there might be some difference between the monsters you encounter on the red path versus the green path. I haven't played enough of this game to know if that makes any difference at all. However, the thing to consider here is, do we want another badge or do we want to replace one spell for another? Personally, I want to replace a spell for another. Now the badge does what it says on the tin. It's probably going to be something that benefits us. It might be really good. It might just be okay, right? Replace a spell lets us get rid of something that isn't doing quite as much as we want to, e.g. Twister is useful. It helps us get rid of cards. It helps us cycle through things, for example. But when we get to single monster bosses, Dizzy does nothing, right? It's not that great, and there's a lot of cases where I might want to drop that for something else. In other cases, maybe, like if we pick up another insight, I might not care about the channel that we're getting from this. I might want to drop exchange for something else. There's a few things that I'd be okay getting rid of for something that would be much better. So I think we're going to take this path and try to replace a spell. But this is still a good idea. Obtaining a badge could be huge. It will be beneficial in some way. If it's something like Heal 2 and we're doing as good as we are, it's not good. If it's something like Armor, that's a little better because we often still use it. It might mean I don't have to cast a defensive spell and I can attack more. If it's something like Momentum Badge, I would be very sad to know that I passed it up, but we're gonna do this because I want to see more spells, man. Come on. Okay. We got the snails. Snail Brute, Snail Pilgrim, Snail Seer. Obviously, this guy's the weakest of the 3. They all have an ability called Sin Eater, which means they gain power when a curse is broken, meaning when you break your curses, they start doing more damage with their attacks. These two are going to be cursing. This guy's going to defend. We're free to attack right now. Okay. So I think first things first. Well, we could do this into this, and that puts us at what, 6? We don't have, and then a little bit of damage to this guy. He's at 189. Our Flame Blast hits everybody at least, which is cool. 214, 189, 79. But if we do it in the other order, we don't proc our rings. 212, 192, 77. Is that worse? I think it's better on this guy. It's worse on this guy. Better on these two, worse on this one. So 212, 77. So if we do it in the other order again, 214, 79, 189. Yeah, so this goes harder on this guy, and then Boost and Flame Blast goes harder on the outer two. But it's the same. If you take them all the damage in total that we're doing across all of them, it's the same in both cases. It doesn't really make much of a difference, which we do. Because the thing is, the thing that I'm noticing about the Momentum Badge is it kind of sucks unless I have a second one. Because the first one gets used immediately and I don't have Empower right away. I'm really mad about that, actually. I didn't think that that's how that worked. Okay, well... Okay, we don't have any whatchamacallits, we don't have any chance, so we can use Conjure Steel to get rid of our defensive spells, no problem. Use both of these to do damage. We're not being attacked right now, it's fine. They're both cantrips, so it's not really a huge loss if one thing or another happens. I think we'll Flame Blast boost. Because it's... Oh no, you know what? It is actually Boost Flame Blast does 1 point more damage in total. Never mind. Because this guy would take 3 more damage. These guys would each take 2 more if I do the other thing. So it works out that this is just better. Cool. All right. Dope. We'll see these 2 again. Not a big deal. And we're going to Conjure Steel as well. That'll get rid of these cards. It'll activate Empty Tome. And, you know, I don't know if Empty Tome will actually... Hold on. Just in case Empty Tome helps me carry over the Empower this turn, let's see if it does, because this should discard these 2. These will be gone. And so if we still have Empower next turn, it'll mean that Empty Tome did something to this. Let's pray. It did. It gave me momentum, and then it went away immediately, which is great, actually. Okay, cool. This guy's attacking. He is doing nothing. He's going to curse 2 more fingers. Okay. So, first things first, Melt is here. Zap is also here. Heck yeah. We're going to start melting this guy, that's for sure. We've got Exchange. I think I can tank Exchange and all that. Just about, anyway. Okay. Exchange makes me vulnerable, which isn't great. Twister... Actually, no, we could Twister as well, right? Is there a way I can arrange this that works out really nice? I don't think I can Exchange and Twister. We can Twister and break one of these, but not the other 2, I don't think. We could also just arc. We've still got enough to... Okay, we've still got enough defense to be able to tank the damage from these 2 and this. So I think... Wait, what if we Exchange instead? Yeah, that's not good enough. Okay, got it. Becoming vulnerable makes that worse. Okay. So I think I'll arc, do a little more damage to this guy. Cure these curses. We're going to immediately get cursed for 2 more again. But it's fine. And then we'll draw, what, 3 more cards? That's not bad. All right, cool. We do lose our Empower here because we didn't get any momentum yet, but we did do a lot of damage in this first little bit. And we still have our big boy Haste here. Let's go. Okay. Everybody's planning to curse. 5 fingers are going to be cursed in a moment. I don't want that to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to open with Haste to get our momentum out. Haste also procs the Empower a little bit, which is nice. I don't have any other fire cards, so there's nothing else I can do with that. We'll throw Zap down here. Arc here. Which does a little bit. Still got some armor. Nobody's attacking me, actually. So you know what? Oh, we're only able to get rid of one of these at the moment. Okay, guys, this is a little nutso gonzo. I want to activate Empty Tome again. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play Twister in these last 2. We're gonna discard Cover and Exchange. Exchange because it's a chant. We're playing everything right now, but the reason we still need to use Twister is because chant. This is a chant. We're gonna be discarding Zap, but our hand will be empty when we end, and we'll get 1 more point of momentum by doing this. And then we'll have just some additional draws, which is great. 2 channel, so we'll get 5 fresh cards in a moment, which is awesome. Who knows how useful they'll be, but the more momentum, the merrier, you know? We have a lot of curses on us right now. Okay, this guy's doing 16 points of damage. Ward is here to help us tank a little bit. I would really like... Okay, great. These 2 are making us vulnerable, which is very bad. Okay, we have boost, we have flame blast, we have zap. Okay, so I'm gonna flame blast to activate that boost. Roll regular boost right here. We'll zap. Oh, zap is being cast as part of that. Oh, right, because the transition from flame blast to boost is zap, isn't it? Okay. What if we just boost first into zap, boost into zap, into flame blast. I might just save flame blast for next turn, actually, now that I think about it. We'll throw ward down right here. That does let us clear these three and still tank most of that damage, which is good. And we can still fit an exchange in. We're already being made vulnerable, so we might as well do it. We do take a little more damage, but honestly, guys, we've got 2 heal. I can take 3 points of damage. That's not a big deal. Okay, this is what we're doing this turn. We're clearing all our curses. We're tanking most of this hit. These guys are basically doing nothing. That's fine with me. Okay. The main thing I'm trying to do, we've got 4 momentum. We want to boost as much as we can, basically. Okay. Flame Blast, boost is back. Arc is here. Okay. Okay. So, the question then is, what is best, right? I think we Flame Blast, boost, zap. Oh shit, because again, that combination is like that. Ah. What if we just boost zap on the lightning? Well, okay, the thing is, if we Flame Blast, we get a bit more in power, which is good, right? Okay, hold on. So if we just boost zap, 79, 160, 17, 6 in power going. If we put Flame Blast there, 10 in power, roughly equivalent. And we can throw an arc down to really mess him up. Nobody's doing damage to me actively right now, so we might as well do that, I think. And... Whew. Yeah, this arrangement of rings isn't great after I've already used Melt, I'm realizing. But we haven't had a fight that's gone on long enough that we've had to consider that. Which sucks. But whatever. Yeah. Boost zap. All is one. This guy's gonna die. These guys are getting melted a little bit. We've got some defense. We're still vulnerable for 4 turns. I think doing these... Okay, no. If we do ward, that should take us to 50. 57 is our current HP. We've got 1 of those left over. Okay, so we're blocking as much as we can. Okay, we'll do that. That's fine. Our deck right now is empty, by the way. We're drawing all our cards every turn, which is awesome. Okay, great. And we've killed one of these guys. Great. He's doing nothing. He's just gonna curse. Okay, great. So Flame Blast, boost, zap, and they're dead. Great. Or rather, the left one's dead and the other one runs away because he chicken. Okay. We could buy another Fire and Power. Arcane and Power Ring. Interesting. And that's 5 in power on Arcane too. Hold up. Boost, Melt, Flame Blast is like that. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There's not really a nice way to arrange those so that Flame Blast and Melt can work at the same time. But once Melt is gone, we can just put Arcane in the middle, and it pairs nicely with Flame Blast into Zap. They both trigger the Arcane. And honestly, I think I might move both rings over by 1 so that we have room to throw Boost in front of both of them and just kind of get the the optimal proc in that specific case. Yeah, so let's actually do that right away. So lightning ring's gonna go over. This is gonna go over 1. I know I'm doing this early. I'm doing it before I even get the arcane ring, but it's pretty good. Insight is also so good though. I want a big pile of gold up here, man. We're gonna replace a spell first. So we're getting strike, arcane, fire, wind. Ugh. Okay, wind is kind of whatever. 7 damage, attacks twice. Man, the reason I don't super like it is because, like, it will hit my fire ring, and if I buy the arcane ring, it will hit that as well. However, in the current configuration, that wind is a problem. It gets in the way of anything else, and we can't chain it together with a lot of stuff. We could do Flame Blast into Strike, for example, or Boost into Strike, for example, which are both fine. Those are both good. What am I gonna drop? Honestly, Twister. I talked about it before. We're getting rid of Twister. I like Exchange for situations where I want to just safely get more cards. So yeah, Twister's going. Cool. Maybe a mistake, but that's the choice I'm making. All right. That's gonna be 35 to 50. 35 alone gets me at least insight. 50 puts me near 70. I think we're gonna be looking at the shop for a while, guys. But for now, we're gonna just fight this boss. Okay. We got Slayer, Hexer, Rider. Everybody's attacking. These two are attacking and cursing, but they're not hitting that hard right now. 3 fingers with corruption, 1 finger with damage. Okay, this whole hand is gonna be gone in a moment. Sorry, this whole hand and this finger are going to be gone in a moment. So we want to use our lightning while we can. Fortunately, we have a lot of lightning on deck. So, I think we boost, hex, zap, cover. Can it, well, that actually, that's going to hurt me more, isn't it? No, I don't want to do that. Boost hex, I could arc, but that's going to hurt me way more than that. Okay. Thinking about it. Do I want to use haste right here, really? I know it does hit the fire, which is cool and all, but... I think I might rather keep some of the defense over here. We'll still zap here. We'll boost here. We're still tanking some damage here. I don't know if I can do this and this. Yeah, we take a pretty big hit if we use arc here. Hold on, zap needs to go there. Okay, so we're gonna do the damage we can. Oh, I don't have anything that gets rid of cards right now, do I? It's fine. Boost is a cantrip. That's a chance. We'll just hang on to everything. We're not going to activate Empty Tome right now. It's not a huge deal. We're just doing what we can, staying alive. Cool. Okay, great. Ugh, gross. Okay, those are really bad, obviously. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. All right, we're gonna throw, so nobody's attacking right now. I'm gonna throw haste down. I also want to clear as much of this curse as I reasonably can. We've still only got cover as our defense card. So I'm going to exchange for another card. We're gonna throw cover there, which is enough at least to get rid of 4 of these fingers. This last one's gonna be tricky because it's doing a fair bit of damage right now. And then we'll just leave everything else alone for the time being. Yeah. Cool. We get a little bit of empower from haste touching this, but other than that, not really a lot is happening at the moment, which sucks. Trying to think if there's another way I can do this, but I think that's kind of the best I can do at the moment. Maybe I could have used strike or something, but okay. He's gonna move, they're doing nothing. They're gonna curse 3 fingers, which sucks. What do we wanna do? Well, plain and simple. We wanna fuck shit up. Melt, bang. Fire blast. Bang. We don't have boost to put in front, so I'm happy to do that. Zap is part of melt, so that's doing some stuff. We can throw arc over here. We can throw ward over here. Ward actually, since nobody's attacking, ward is enough to tank this. So we're gonna throw ward down because we now have enough defense to be able to get rid of this curse and still not take damage, which is great. That's the main thing I wanted to do, is like find a moment where I could get rid of this thing. We are gonna get 3 fairly small curses in a moment, but that's fine. Corruption is stacking up, which is bad, but ideally we're just gonna kill enough of them that it's not gonna be an issue pretty soon, so. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, cool. Great. I was just doing one last check to see if there wasn't like a more optimal thing I could do. Again, we haven't had the chance to really use Empty Tome yet. We can pretty soon. Oh, they put Rider in front? Lol, okay. Oh boy, we're gonna have to like beat the crap out of this guy, huh? Okay. Alright. Well, we can do this. Or we can do this and this. That's going to give me a bit more empower on those. We've still got 2 momentum, so we're still building. Do I have any defense cards? Got those. We're going to take a little bit of damage here, but nobody's attacking, and we will have cleared 2 curse things, so that's pretty good. We can throw Conjure Steel on the back of it, take a little more damage. I think it's worth doing, because then we have a full clear on curses for a bit. I would have liked to use boost at some point, but I didn't really have... Actually, no. Well... No, yeah, because Flame Blast boost does this twice, which is better than just boost being here, so... that is as good as it gets for now, I do believe. We threw Strike down. We're not activating our Lightning Ring at all here, but we are getting 4 procs on this. So it's building up a lot of Empower this turn. That's kind of what we're doing. We're also building up a little bit of defense. We're also going to be discarding 2 cards. So Arc, Boost, Exchange, Zap. 2 of those are going to go away. But that's... You know what? Actually, if we want... This is a good time to activate Empty Tome, maybe. So I'm actually going to dismiss these 2, since I'm not using them anyway. The chance of the ones that'll be targeted will have an empty hand. We'll have 1 more momentum. And that might be what saves us. We also killed a guy, by the way. That's pretty good. This guy did armor the heck out of these 2, which is bad. But fortunately, he's doing nothing right now. He's just going to curse 1 finger with vulnerable. I mean, not great, but I can deal with it. Okay, this is, again, a good round to attack, so... Okay. We open with boost. And then we go into strike, because... I don't know, it fits. It does a bit more damage. It procs the same number of times as Flame Blast does, and we can only fit 1 on the ring right now. So that just seems better to me. And then we can zap. And since nobody's attacking me right now, I can throw Flame Blast at the end. And then suddenly, where once this guy had 234 HP and they had 71, we're down to 26 and 59. Not as much damage to this guy. That's okay, though. We've still got 2 turns of momentum. We're continuing to build up our Empower. We've melted through both of those 60 shields, by the way. Forgot to mention that part. If they didn't have the 60 shields, they would both be dead. What is this? Intends to gain armor? I've never seen that before. That's cool. Okay. I think we can just zap and they're dead, right? Yeah. Cool. I'll throw an Archon first for good measure, but like, that'll do it. With all the Empower we've built up, that's all we need. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay. We're at 30, so we'll definitely have 65. We might have 80, which is enough to buy either Insight or Arcane Empower. I really want that Arcane Empower ring. So even though an enhanced spell would be really cool, if I was going to enhance a spell, I would probably improve haste by reducing that vulnerable by 1, or increase, I don't need to increase the, we've got Empty Tome, we're good there. Or we might increase the boost by 1. Those are the two big things that we have right now, but I'd rather have this for the big Empower gain. Because we got a lot of spells that take advantage of arcane sigils, so yeah. Right in the middle, baby. Okay. Great. Okay. Now, fire into arcane. Flame Blast does it. Strike does not do it. Zap starts with arcane. Haste ends with fire. Melt ends with fire. So we could put melt here, end with fire, go into something else potentially. Oh, it doesn't matter what they end with. They just need to be able to like overlap with each other, right? We'll figure it out. This looks pretty good to me. I care least about the direct damage, much more about the Empower, and this feels like a good arrangement for the spells we have. So I might shift them over 1, but I like having room for the boost at the front. We're going to save up for another Insight, because it would just be really nice to be able to be drawing a lot of cards. So, oh. Okay. We could heal to full, but I think we're close enough to full that I don't care. We're gonna grab the Insight badge. And then we're going to immediately buy a spell pack. Here, guys, here's what a spell pack looks like, by the way. You spend 20 gold, you get to pick a spell, right? We get Void. Ooh. Enchant Fingers with Empower. That's amazing. It is a ritual. It does inflict vulnerable as well. Gain Empower per wild. We don't really, our build doesn't use wild at all. This is no good for us. It does proc twice. If we were using the Lute, or if we had some other spells that gave us wild, this might be good. Not good for our build currently. Gem Ward, we've seen this one before. Does defense. Severs 2 cards. It might be good for us since we're using Empty Tome, actually. And it's a cantrip. Void is pretty cool because if we've got any fingers that are often empty, which I feel like I've been leaving the 1 or 2 of the first 2 empty more often than not lately, on account of like wanting to like make sure I'm proccing rings or whatever. I feel like it would be good to empower those 2, which would replace the empty finger defense that all the fingers normally have. But it does seem kind of good to me, so I think we're gonna take that. Okay. Great. I can't forage for new items right now, apparently. Wait, is this the final boss? We didn't get there already, did we? Ain't no way. Okay. Let's see what happens. No, it's just this guy. Okay, this is just forest boss. We got plenty of time before the big guy happens. Okay, 9 damage. He's gonna curse 2 fingers with Hex. Hex is a pain to deal with, but it's not the worst thing in the world if you can find good places and times to play them. Fear is probably the worst one. It's double bone and it inflicts vulnerable on you. But the other 2 are kind of whatever. They're not a huge deal. So, okay, haste is here. We don't have the enchantment one just yet. We don't have really anything that, I mean, we do have Flame Blast, which will bum, actually. No, never mind. I spoke too soon. We're putting haste down here, I think. Oh, you know what we could do? This is kind of sick. We can haste here, and we can conjure steel right before it. Those slot together really nicely. We have one chant that we will want this to discard. And again, 55 is just the HP we've got 15 block after he hits us, which is great. We'll throw Arc here. We've still got some armor left. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Okay. We did a little bit of damage round 1. That feels all right. Arc is one of my weaker ones. I'm happy to get rid of it. Alternatively, although I think the exchange might make it so that he hurts me, maybe? Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, because haste is already making me vulnerable. Okay. I might as well exchange and just extend the period then. So we just get an extra card draw on next round as well, which is awesome. So we're gonna get, what? Actually a lot of fucking cards now that I think about it. I do have to discard one of these straight up, so we'll discard Ward. Because we're gonna get rid of this one and then Chant, because Chant will try to stay. Yeah, we want to activate Empty Tome. Okay, cool. That feels good. Exiled, wait, what? What do you mean exiled? Oh, those were both rituals. Of course they're exiled, come on. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, so again, this is why we try to put our rings like reasonably closer to the left side. I like them more in the middle because then I have more versatility with them, but this guy's gonna get taken away sooner than later. He's gonna attack one finger with Hex and also just a regular attack. Okay, cool. We're already vulnerable for 2 rounds. What's one more, you know? We're gonna enchant these fingers with some juice. We're gonna melt and zap. We're gonna flame blast maybe while we're at it. I'm thinking about it. We could also strike at the end, but then we actually take damage, huh? Okay. What if we flame blast here and then cover? Okay. Cover is enough to block the attack and also free us from these hexes, which is cool. We have one chant in, and none of these are doing Sever, so we won't be able to proc Empty Tome again. So there's no point in discarding this for now. We'll keep it in hand. Okay, great. That's pretty good. A lot of boosts. How much Empower do we have now? We're cooking, baby. Okay. Sick. We have 34 Empower, which is pretty good. It's not bad. Okay, the hexes we got were both Pacify, which is kind of fine, actually. Pacify's, I mean, it kind of sucks, but it's not that bad. So what Pacify does is it removes the enchantment on the finger you played on. Since there's 2 of them here, I can play them both on the same finger. And so 2 for 1, we get to cure this hex. We take away the enchantment on that finger, but this guy's cursing all the time, so we probably wouldn't get to use this finger this battle anyway. So it's not a big deal. We can just pacify that guy. We've got Strike, we've got Arc, and Zap, huh? So I'd like to have Zap do that, right? Because Zap is going to proc 3 times on this guy. This guy would only do 2 times, and if I move it over, then Zap is only procking on that. So it's better to put this here and Zap there than the other way around, I feel. We don't have room for exchange, but we can Arc. However, we will... I think we're taking damage regardless at the moment. Okay. We take damage regardless. It sucks, but okay. I'll hold off on Arc for now, just because I don't want to push myself too hard if I don't have to. Great. Great. Oh, baby. Okay. We got Fear. Fear is the Mind Killer. But it's also kind of bad, right? Let's see. We don't have any fire, so I don't need to worry about proccing that. So I can put Boost here and then Zap on it. They're both proccing the Arcane. This one's hitting that. He's almost dead. Arc might actually do it. Arc did it. We kill him this round. Yeah. So for the record, I mean, he was already pretty close. This is what, round 3, 4? Something like that. Toast. Get out of here. Momentum ain't no joke. Okay. Honestly, I'm grabbing another one of these for posterity. I don't need to have this here, but if I enchant these two with both with Empower, it's just extra Empower if I happen to put fire there as well. Which honestly, it tends to be something with fire that I put in those first two anyway, so that's pretty sick. Cool. We'll forage now. We're gonna learn a spell. Ooh. Okay, we've got Tempest, which is an echo. We've got not really a lot of wind stuff at the moment. No rings for it. It is multicast, but it's kind of whatever. We've got probably the best spell. We've got probably the best spell in the game for Apprentice specifically. We're not set up to use it perfectly because we don't have like a... There is a ring that does lightning empower. If we had that, we would put that in a good spot for it, but this is still really nice. And it's a cantrip. It's like if Melt was a cantrip. That's the situation. Flux is here. Flux is single bone, easy to activate. It's a chant, we get to use it all the time. But the thing is, I don't really like chants for Empty Tome because they're kind of a pain to get rid of, right? Either I have to have a Sever card that can get rid of them, or I have to manually discard them and not play them, right? I'd rather have a cantrip that I can easily lose. Tempest, you're good for another build, not mine. We take Molten. Okay. Okay, so again, we've got 3 paths now. All 3 paths have an Obtain Ring. All 3 paths have a battle. The difference is we have a badge, we have a lot of money, and we have Learn a Spell. Honestly, I've got 13 spells in hand. How many rituals? 4 rituals, so that's 9 spells in rotation. On any given hand after I get rid of my rituals, there's a chance that I don't see the spell I need. I don't want to make that any worse than it has to be. So we're gonna... Especially since, well, no, haste is my double wide and it's a ritual. That's not a big deal. Okay. So we're not going to take this path. I wish I knew what was going to be here, because we've got 15 gold and I might need a lot more. So we're just going to take a badge. By the way, the later badges and the later spells tend to be really, really good. So taking this badge, probably a good idea. We got power, which is amazing. Okay, cool. There's another Arcane Power. We got Bone Defense, which defense is pretty good. It increases the block on all your fingers and also all your defense, your block spells, but it's kind of whatever. An extra channel on each fight. How much do we have? We got 2 insight, so we're starting each fight with 6 cards already. We could. I don't think we make enough money to buy... Because, like, okay, we can buy the Fire Empower ring, potentially. But I don't think we make enough money to get to 40 on this path. So it's buy this or buy that. Or buy both, eventually, I guess. But, yeah, we'll do Channel Badge for now. And then if I get money, hey, I'll pick one of those up, maybe. We're near the end. Oh, we're getting a ring. Please take a ring, a token of our appreciation. What is this? Bone Defense, Bone Power. Power is very strong. Bone Momentum. Oh my goodness. Guys, Haste is bone. Void is bone. I want to play them both in the same spot. Conjure Steel is bone, and I found a time when I could play it in a spot. Ooh. I think... Do we want Momentum or do we want Power? Oh, that's tough, actually. Bone Defense is alright, but I've been feeling okay about my defenses. The final fight, it's a lot of curses. It's not the worst defense-wise, so I'm more concerned about damage being dealt, you know? The other thing to consider about the bone cards, ritual, ritual, ritual. Do I have any cards with bone that are not a ritual? No. So these, we're going to activate them at most, what, 3 times? Is that 3 momentum? 6 power. Actually, 6 power is kind of sick. Because that's just a persistent 6 damage forever. But because I have so many other cards that help me with Empower, I think 3 momentum might be the better pick here. If I didn't have as much momentum going, I think I'd probably go for the power since it's persistent, but... Or if I was worried about my defense, I might go for defense, but... Since I don't have very many cards that can hit this anyway, I think that's sensible, yeah. Alright, cool. Great. Yeah, we just picked up that. We're gonna hit this now. Great. Hey guys. So this is the bodyguard. These are the 2 servants. We can't spin them around, so we just gotta go through them. These guys are powering up. He's just gonna do a regular freaking attack. We don't have any momentum this turn, but we can empower. Oh wait, the ring gives us momentum now. That's cool. Okay. Dope. And then we don't have... Oh, we don't have Zap here. That's kind of a bummer. Molten is here. Zap feels better, though. Because with the momentum, like, the Empower is going to persist. Especially if we can get more momentum next round, you know? So I think we do this, we can cover or ward at the end, I guess. How much damage are we taking? Not a lot. Yeah. Do we have room to cast one more thing? Could pop him over that way. It doesn't really do much for us, though, doing that. Like, we do get to use this, right? But I think I'd rather keep it for next round for now. Yeah. Because we have guaranteed momentum, I'm not worried about losing anything. I think next turn, if I need to proc Empty Tome to keep the momentum up, then I can use this for that. So we'll keep it for now. Great. Okay, cool. Good defense. Good job. Go team. Melt, I probably shouldn't have used right away, thinking about it. Because it is a ritual. Maybe Molten would have been the better choice there, but... I don't know, Molten's like the same thing, kind of. It doesn't hit the Arcane, obviously, but it's pretty good. It's definitely the best thing I can put just on this ring, though. Arc, get out of here, you know? Maybe I should have gotten rid of Arc a while ago, but okay. Everybody's just powering up. We can just keep laying it on thick. We don't have anything that boosts momentum here, except for Conjure Steel, actually. Ooh. Yeah, we'll Conjure Steel. That is going to let us get some momentum by proccing this ring. And then we have bum bum bum. Put Strike down for a Hemplo. Oh, Flame Blast is backwards of Strife, isn't it? Bing. That's actually kind of better. Okay. And we can do Arcane Lightning. Do we have anything that does... We don't have Zap right now. Bummer. Okay. We could just do a bunch of straight up ba 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 with that cantrip there. Bodyguard's almost dead, which is kind of sick. Or... I think we do that. Nobody's attacking right now. I don't have to worry about defense. So we're going to discard. Discard. We don't have any other chance, actually, either. So... I have room to boost. We might as well boost. Yeah, let's boost. Come on. Use that. Nobody's attacking. Those are cantrips. That's a ritual. We're going to discard these two, which is fine. They're like the least effective things I have at the moment. Okay, great. Ba, 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 ba. Easy. Okay. Again, they're obviously getting more powerful. Not in a revenge kind of way, just in a general, you know, kind of way. Okay, haste is here. We get to do that now. Zap is here. Do I want to proc both of those empowers twice? Or do I want to proc this empower 3 times? These 2 twice is 14. This one 3 times is 15, plus some electricity damage. It's silly goofy. Okay. And then we can throw a strike at the end, just for good measure. Cool. The one that's attacking dies, the other 2 are just doing nothing, except taking damage over here. Great. Guys, this is an easy win at this point. We've got our 6 momentum in place. It's plenty to carry us to the end. We just need to see our damage spells show up and we'll be a-okay. Weirdly, I didn't see... oh, no, I already used it. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. We can leave this empty now. We've used our 3... What's it? So I think Flame Blast Zap should do it, right? Yeah. Flame Blast Zap. We'll throw Molten on at the end just for fun. And just imagine what could have been with all that. Flame Blast Zap was enough to kill them both. Yeah, dope. Sick. Okay. That's weird. No, it's not weird. We just did that fight. What am I talking about? Okay. We have 20 gold pieces. We could get more gold there, actually. It might be worth saving up for Power Badge just to have even more oomph, you know? I'll think about it after I hit this spell shrine. So we're enhancing one spell. We could do this one, make it less punishing, or make it more... Honestly, I'm not running out of haste anytime soon. I don't think we need more of that. We could hit Void and remove the negative effect or make that stronger. I don't think we need to do that. We could hit something that sticks around for a little while. It's only going to be a +1 to whatever we do, though. So, like, doing it on Ward is very much a waste, right? Zap, honestly, is also a waste because we're not increasing the number of multicast. I think Boost. Boost is one that we're able to cast frequently already. And I think we're probably going to be able to mow anything down before that haste runs out. Between this and the other haste we're able to get other ways, so... Okay, great. Good upgrade, good upgrade. Alright, we're replacing a spell no matter what. Or getting the option to, anyway. I think we just take the center path. Badge is cool and all, but I think guaranteeing power would be kind of sick. So let's do this. Oh, it's Headhunter. Guys, for those of you who don't know, Headhunter, so his whole gimmick, you can see it on the bottom right there, when starting the round with less than half health, spend to heal for half your health. So what that means is you can beat him up all the way down to exactly 400. I've gotten him to exactly 400, and then Headhunter did not proc. It's not less than half, it is exactly half. The moment you hit 3 on 99, he's going to gain 400. If you beat him real hard all the way down to 1, he will heal 400 points. So we'll be back up to 401 when his turn hits. So the strategies are either it's an endurance contest or just a blasting contest where you get through all the 2,000 potential HP that he has, or you get him to 400 or as close as you can, and then you really hit him hard so that he doesn't get a chance to heal. We're going to try to do the latter, but if we do the former, it's okay too, honestly. It's not a big deal. But we're going to try to do the latter. All right. Let's see. Okay, none of my momentum stuff is here, but we can do this. We've got one chant in play at the moment. Happily do that. Hit this. Molten is kind of sick, though. But we're gonna do strike here, so that we proc both of these empowers twice. That's because that's 14. I could also proc the fire one only 6 times, which is 12 empower, which is not as much. But we would also get to do like 30 damage extra, which is all right. It's all right. He's attacking for 8. My armor, my base armor alone is enough to tank it, so I don't need to worry about these 3 fingers. We can do whatever we want with them. So I think we will just get Arc out of the way, maybe? Or... No, Molten is better, because we're going to have 9 in power at that point, right? Yeah. Because that's going to do... What? 769 to... That's going to do 90 points of damage versus 12 plus 9, 21. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. This guy's going to discard 2 cards. I will discard Arc, Cover. These 2 are automatically going to go as well. And then we will activate Empty Tome, which is kind of sick. Cool. Good talk. Okay. Dope. Okay. So we gained 2 momentum at the end of that round, or like 1 during and then 1 at the end. Oh, and Haste is here. Oh, and Void is here. Ooh. I guess we Haste first. Just to get the momentum down and then not think about it anymore after that. That's kind of sick. What's he planning to do? He's going to disable a finger, so he's gonna cut off my pinky. That's okay. We can melt. Hit 6 times, hits all of those. We can also save melt for later. Melt is one that, since it is going to hit all 3 of these guys, it might be better to use it later, thinking about it. Yeah, if I use it now, it takes him to 398. So we might just want to do, like, Flame Blast here, just to juice our Empower a little bit. We can do Boost here. Because again, we want to get close, but we don't want to pass it unless we... Yeah, it's pretty good. He's not attacking us right now, so we're free to just kind of do this, I think. Cool. We're going to get 4 more cards next turn. Great. Our momentum will be in place. We can just focus on building up the other stuff. Okay. Dope. Again, not attacking right now. Okay. Void. Boost is also here. Boost, though, I kind of want to put on top of these 2, though, right? Well, actually, no, because Zap goes there. Zap hits those 3 times or whatever. Molten, do we have room for Molten? Not right now. We have room for Melt? We do. Not in exactly the place that I had in mind, but... Actually, wait, hold on. Since we have Melt and Boost and Zap right now, is that enough? Takes me to 234. Okay. Never mind then. So we're gonna Void, we're gonna Boost, or we're gonna Void, we're gonna Flame Boost, regular Boost and Zap at the same time. Takes him to 425. And then I've got 1 space left, and I can't do anything with these 3. Okay, that's okay. Cool. It's a pretty good boost. We're using our Empower right there and some cantrips and a chant, which is fine. I want to save Melt. Since it can do a lot on its own, we'll give it some space. Cool. Okay, great. I think we can probably... Are we going to kill him this turn? Yeah, okay. I just put Melt down and that was enough. Because it's doing Zap as well. Zap is empowering the heck out of these guys. Melt is also doing that. It's adding a little extra electricity damage here. On top of everything else, it's just too much for them to take. Cool. And we just end them. Easy. If you're not able to get close to 400 and do it all the way, don't worry about it too much. Just if you're low on health or what have you, and you feel like you might not be able to survive the next turn, honestly just hit him as hard as you can. If he heals, so be it, and just keep doing it. Getting through that 2000 HP is kind of what you're gonna have to do anyway with the last boss, so it's not that big a deal. We're gonna grab that power badge, and then maybe replace a spell. Arcane Nova. I love Arcane Nova. It is Flame Blast, but the runes are reversed, so it's versatile. It's also just better than Flame Blast. It does a bit more damage, attacks the same number of times. They're very similar spells, but it's strictly, not strictly better, because the arrangement of runes can make a difference, but it's a good one to have in here. Frankly, better than Arc. I'm getting Arc out of here for this one, because I feel like I hold it in my hand and I try to find a place for it when I got nothing better to do. So we're gonna move on. Cool. Campfire. Memory badge. 2 memory at the start of each fight. Gain channel the next time 2 times you dismiss a spell. How much memory do I have at the moment? None. Oh, okay. Do I need channel though? With the 2 insight that I have all the time, I feel like I don't super need channel, actually. But also I don't need to heal the full. We'll take the memory badge, why not? We're at 55 HP, which is enough. This is the final fight, by the way. This is the last one. We're gonna go in and we're gonna wreck them. So this is Leech. The first round, all your fingers are cut off, which is really interesting. You might think, oh no, all my fingers are cut off round 1. You do get them all back in round 2, and he's not really doing anything. He's just preparing right now, right? So it's like, what is the point of this? Well, you can discard whatever cards you want and hope to get a better hand, basically. That's what's good about it. So, what do I want to get rid of? We've got 7 cards in hand at the moment. We're going to draw up to 4. So I have to get rid of at least 3 if I want to grab as many as possible, right? Which 3 do I want to get rid of? Honestly, exchange. I don't need it right now. Come back later, you know? I don't have any bone spells at the moment. Conjure Steel I might want to do the thing, if you get what I'm saying. Strike takes up more space than Arcane Nova, but they do overlap, which is kind of sick. Melt is a ritual. I'm gonna save it for later. I want it to hit hard later. It'll come back around. It's not going away forever. Molten is like a version of Melt that is a cantrip, and it's awesome, and I love it. We can get rid of one more thing, maybe. By the way, if we don't want to get rid of one more thing, we don't have to. We can just draw 3 more cards, but because I do want to maximize my chances of seeing something like Haste, which will give me some momentum, you know. But I'll get rid of Strike. It's kind of a pain to use. The wind or the gust sigil sign or whatever, not useful to me. So we'll get rid of that. Draw 4 new cards. Great. My fingies are back. Great. Okay. Haste is here. Awesome. Conjure Steel. Do I need to Conjure Steel this round, though? He's not... I don't need to worry about defense. We'll just Haste right away. It gives us both of those, which is awesome. Into... How do I want to arrange these? So these 2 fit together really nice. This guy can lead into something like Zap, right? Oh, duh, we just put Flame Blast here. We just double flame it. Yeah, those don't need to connect. I'd rather just get as many uses of that as we can. Arcane Nova can go later if we want. Could also boost, potentially. Is boost better? No. Because the extra triggers we get from Flame Blast on this one specifically are worth more than boost is. Even this one is better than boost at the moment. Yeah. Boost, with these rings, boost is almost irrelevant. I probably could have gotten rid of it. I just like having one more card that helps me get some juice, you know? And then we could attack twice, or we could attack 6 times. 2252 or 2323. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. But fun fact, putting Arcane Nova here lets me do boost into Arcane Nova, which is cool. Okay. We'll do that, maybe. We'll do that just because it gives us more Empower this turn, so that next turn has more to work with. Great. Okay, cool. Dope. Okay. So this turn he's intending to curse 2 fingers with damage. Curses from the enemy will target random fingers for the next 5 turns. He's insane right now. Aspect of the Arcane, I couldn't tell you what that means. I would love to know. It's never been relevant when I fought this guy. It might just mean he's going to do different stuff. It might mean that Arcane does something different to him. I can't tell. There's not any kind of indication that it does something different. I don't know, but maybe it means that in 5 turns he's going to do something really cool, but maybe I just kill him too fast. I don't know, but anyway, all right. Void is here. We'll do that. Proc that. Empower these 2, which is cool. We have lightning coming out of that. It's not going to overlap with anything. Fire, arcane, lightning. Yeah, I think Molten here is fine. It does some good damage. It, well, okay, 6 times 2 versus 3 times 5. We do get more juice from this, actually. I don't have anything to cast here, but this is ultimately more Empower. And then we can finish with this, maybe. Or we could throw this at the end. We're gonna draw 4 cards anyway. I don't need to do that. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna Molten at the end. Just do more damage. Okay, great. Cool. We're not really using Empty Tome right now. It'll become more important later, probably. Okay, he's cursing fingers randomly. There's nothing I can do about that. We'll just run over him, take some damage, whatever. He's planning to block this coming turn. Hey, good luck. Do we have any bone stuff that we can cast with? This guy, potentially. Zap is here. Melt is here. Melt doesn't get to take advantage of this thing right now. So I think I'd rather Zap first. But I do want to clear that thing, thinking about it. Do we have anything that ends with Arcane right now? No. Bummer. Okay, well, we will Melt here then. We do have another really strong spell coming in, and it's still hitting this guy, which is the important one anyway, so. What's going on with you? Sometimes this statue grabs this card when I'm playing it, and I worry that it thinks it's going to dismiss it. Okay. Just casting on all fingers, we've got enough armor on our own to just tank whatever that's there, so we will. We'll throw Strike down at the end. Ward, cover, exchange. Conjure Steel is discarding 2 cards, so actually we are going to discard these 2, because I don't think he's going to attack me next round, probably, maybe. And then Conjure Steel will discard Exchange and Zap, which is fine. And it'll help us proc Empty Tome, which I like, so cool. Maybe who will attack me physically, directly, but I don't know, probably not. Oh, he's doing it. Okay, well, it's fine. Cover's here. We have cover, it's fine. Okay. No bone. We've used all our bone. So this is gonna be empty unless, like, we want to proc something, I guess. So we have Boost here. We have Molten. We have this guy. I don't have any of my... I mean, I do have Molten, which would proc that a bunch, but, like, it's not even... I'd rather Empower a bunch over anything else. And Strike Strike slash Arcane Nova do that together really well. So we're gonna do that. We will also Flame Blast here to hit this guy twice, instead of just getting the base for leaving it empty. And okay, if I Molten, I take damage, just a little bit, but we do actually beat him up a lot. We do like 500 damage to him or something. However, if I boost, we still have enough shield to tank it. So we're just gonna boost. We're just gonna boost at the end. Cool, great. I probably could have put the boost here instead, but I feel like it wouldn't have done as much, but it would have been efficient, tight, you know? Okay, cool. Guys, we're at 66 in power and 4 momentum left. We're in really good shape. So if we put this here, that's a little bit. And then if we put, I don't know, man, this here, that does a little bit more. And if we put this here, that almost kills him. He's preparing right now. Brother, wake up. You don't have time to prepare. Come on. You understand the overture at this point. Apprentice is easy peasy. A zap should do it. Yeah, he's done. And that's Apprentice. Thanks for hanging out, guys. This is a really fun run. So yeah, that's how you win with Apprentice and how you make decisions and things. There's a few other topics that I know I wanted to talk about that I didn't find an opportunity to go over. That's just because Apprentice rocks. He's a pretty straightforward guy. So get your win with Apprentice, and then we'll talk about some of these other wizards in the next video. Anyway, take care. Bye. Have a good one. Have a good night. Bye.